I'm really probably going to be seen as an asshole after this. Deal with it. So I was in my biology class today, and almost all of my classmates knew that I was at the Atheist Convention and the Reason Rally last week, so I was obviously absent from my Saturday class. So I was talking with one girl that I sit by, and she's just like, "Oh, did you have fun?" And I told her yes, and I kind of gloated a little bit. She asked what was one of my highlights, and that was getting my book signed by Richard Dawkins. I'm still gloating over that. And she's just like, "Oh, I don't know who he is. Who is he?" And I'm like, "Well, he's an evolutionary biologist, and he's really big in the secular movement." After I just tell her that he's an evolutionary biologist, she just goes, "Oh, well, I'm a creationist." I try not to assume things, so I just ask for some clarification. You know, are you a creationist in the fact that you think that there needed to be a higher power to create the universe, or in the biblical sense of the Earth only being 6,000 years old and created in 6 days? And she says the latter. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a lot of contempt for creationists. However, I still do try to be diplomatic, especially because there's some questions that have never been answered that I've always had for creationists, and all of them fail to answer my question. So I just figured I'd ask her just to get some clarification. There's so much evidence for the Earth being over 4 billion years old, which is vastly different than 6,000 years, and that's taught in the Bible. You know, how do you ignore that evidence and preserve your faith? Like, what makes you dismiss that evidence as untrue? And all of a sudden, she just freaks out that I'm attacking her beliefs and then I'm being condescending because I asked her why and how. I wasn't even being rude, because trust me, when I'm being rude about the creation theory, you'll know when I'm rude. But it was just the simple, I asked a critical question just to get a better understanding of how someone could ignore that. Being someone who doesn't, I can't put myself there, so I try to ask people who do believe that how they can ignore that. All of them fail to do that. They either try to tear down the evidence to reducing things to, well, that's just a theory. Well, that's not right. Well, that's just playing tricks on you. Even though it's been proven over and over and over again. Or they automatically jump to the assumption that I'm trying to belittle them when I'm just asking the question of why and how. So this brings me to my point, because this is not just a rant on creationism. This is a rant on asking questions. Why is there the stigma that asking critical questions is wrong? We need to be asked critical questions. That's at least one of my beliefs, is that without having things questioned, whether it's intrinsically or extrinsically, if we never have those things questioned, we'll never be able to advance our understanding of things, even if it's just our understanding of our beliefs. Questions are a good thing. I'm not attacking you when I ask you simple questions. Now, I can understand it's belittling if I ask you, why do you take the accounts and views of desert herdsmen that lived not even that long ago over the accounts of modern science? It's a collective buildup of many, many humans. Why do you only take a few? That one I can see being condescending. However, me just asking you of how do you cope and ignore and dismiss the evidence? That's not me being condescending, that's me asking a question. I mean, if we didn't ask questions, where would we be? If we didn't question the views and beliefs of others when they come to notions that are not supported, where would we be? We would still be in the fucking Dark Ages. Questions are a good thing. I would never take offense to someone who asked me questions about my views, who tried to critically examine and and critique every argument that I present. I expect that. I welcome that. Even if I feel like an asshole and like a stupid dick for a little bit, it will give me the motivation to better form my arguments and better form my opinions and my beliefs, which is a good thing. Yeah, I'll feel like a total pinhead for a while, but oh well. That's how we grow as people and as a species. And when you start putting a taboo on that, on certain areas where no, you should not critically ask any questions of that, don't even ask. Do you really want to stunt yourself? Do we really want to stunt our fellow man and their growth? Ask questions. Why is that bad? As long as you're not purposefully set out to try to make someone feel shameful, if you're just asking them questions to try to expand either your knowledge or their knowledge, how is that bad? Seriously, people. And I put this out as a precursor for a video I've been spending a lot of time trying to put together, which is the reasons why I'm an atheist. I still expect people to critically examine my arguments, to, if they can, tear them through, to ask questions, because it will help me adjust my views or build my views, and it will help them get a better understanding. That is how we work. My views are not taboo for you to question. Your views are not taboo for me to question. It's completely different when you're using prejudice against someone to prohibit them to equal rights or equal dignity, for those areas to be taboo. I don't believe in discrimination. I do believe in questions. I do believe in trying to promote thought. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, yes, I hold a lot of contempt for creationists, and the creation myth. I do think it's absolutely silly. But I'm not going to automatically view you as less of a human for it. Just a human that has some silly beliefs, fine, whatever. But I'm not barred from questioning of why you hold those beliefs. And if your only assertion is that I'm trying to be belittling and demeaning to you, why are you getting that way when all I asked was, why? Questioning beliefs and questioning faith is how we build them stronger, or how we adjust them to change to better fit what we find truth. If the only thing is defense, and pure defense with no reasoning, well, then they really aren't strong in the first place.